Hi friends, Rick with the Old Man Tech Channel. What I have here is an EMF meter which is used for measuring electromagnetic fields. This video is not about how to use the meter because it takes special training to understand what the meter is displaying and how it interacts with its surroundings. However, I have learned I will need an extension device to hold my meter for certain applications. A meter such as this can be used to measure electrical, magnetic, and radio frequency fields. It is not considered an accurate meter by any means because it is a consumer grade meter. However, it can be very useful in the detection and protection industry or for home use, mainly to compare the results for the before and after remediation efforts pertaining to the offending fields. The presence of your body or hand have no effect on the readings of the meter for magnetic fields, but they do for electric and radio microwave fields. This is my attempt to fabricate an extension device to remove my hand and body from the equation as much as possible. The materials I will be using were found lying around the house. They are a wooden back scratcher, a thin piece of rubber, some stock Velcro, and some Gorilla Glue. We will proceed with the assembly. Okay, we'll start the assembly here of all the pieces. Got my meter here. Got a little piece of this foamy stuff glued on there, a little bit on the front. So we'll figure out what we need to do next. We're going to make a mark here. Okay, the plan is to put a little bit of this rubber down in here to set it underneath the meter to kind of keep it from sliding around and such. Figure out what we need here. Cut off a little bit of that. Take a little bit of the finish off of this back scratcher here so the glue will stick a little better. Okay. Gorilla Glue. Stuff is sticky, and we'll lay it down in there. This will give us a little cushion to set the meter on, kind of keep it from sliding around like so. Let that dry a little bit. Get ready for the next step. Next, we'll set our meter back on here. Kind of move it up a little bit and put a little tension on it. I'm going to make another mark pretty much about in the same place where we did before. We're going to put little piece of stick behind here to help hold that in place when it's setting in the saddle there. So we'll go a little wider than the stick and a little less than the meter so you get it to stabilize, kind of hold the meter in place a little bit better once we get done. Where that's going to be sitting. I'll take the meter back off. Put a little glue in here, hold that in place. Don't want too much of this Gorilla Glue on anything because it will expand. We'll put a clamp on this to hold her down, and then we'll come back later after everything's all dry. Now you see the piece is all glued up. I took the liberty of gluing the Velcro piece in place. Bear in mind, Gorilla Glue is not a fast setting glue, A good rule of thumb is to let it dry overnight. You may try other adhesive glues, but I use Gorilla Glue for its strong holding properties under stress. Now let's remove the clamps and see what we have. Okay, as you can see, the glue's all set up. There's a little fillet left here on this wood, as you can see. I'm going to leave that on there for added strength. It's a little more adhesive. I'll probably clean this up a little bit on the back here and make it look a little nicer here. So let's see how the meter fits in here. Let's see what we have on our Velcro meter retaining strap. Wrap it around. Hopefully I cut it long enough to begin with. Yeah, I'm kind of happy with that. Trim the corners off a little bit. Make it a little more aesthetic. Yeah, I think that's going to work okay. Does it hold the meter? Yes. Yes. Okay. Alright, my meter extension stick seems to be doing a good job of holding the meter in place. For those of you who have need of a meter extension, this may be your ticket. At least it would be better than this alternative. For those of you who are concerned about the health risks of EMF, a good meter is a starting point. Next, get the proper training of how to use the meter you have. Just do a search online for EMF meter training. You will find some very good sites to choose from. If you haven't had the proper meter training, there is an upside. You can still use the back scratching feature.